Another victory for Joyce. He's still unbeaten. He's in a situation now where he's lining up. The trajectory is certainly there to face Joshua or Usyk. It's one of those, you have a big British heavyweight. He's 36 years of age. It was his first fight actually in almost a year, and to come out and maintain that unbeaten record, and it was a little bit difficult for him because he was supposed to fight Joseph Parker, who had to pull out or decided to pull out because his manager or his trainer wasn't available on the date that the fight was going to go ahead. So you start your preparation for one fight, and then you get another one. And when you haven't fought for a year, it's difficult, isn't it, to come out? And there were a couple of signs yesterday that everything wasn't perfect, but ultimately it's another TKO.
No, absolutely. And I watched it. He got the job done. I think he'd be slightly concerned, or his corner would be slightly concerned, that he got caught a few times in the first couple of rounds. And against the guys you mentioned, he ultimately wants to fight. He's got to be very, very careful. But I thought he was very clever after that, and actually went to the body. And to be fair, Christian Hammer's, okay, maybe he's a little bit past it now and coming in late, so maybe he wasn't 100% fit, but he's got pedigree himself. So look, it's job done, isn't it? But I still think he'll be thinking, and the corner will be thinking, there's still work to be done before they meet the big boys. Do
you think that's something to do with the fact, though, that if you haven't fought for a year, then there's a little bit of ring rustiness?
Absolutely, and that would be the question I'd ask him. How did you feel in the ring? Because you know what it's like when you're not playing football-wise, when you've been out for a long time, that actually to get back into the swing of things is not easy. You can train all you want, but it's completely different once you're sort of playing a match, and therefore in a ring if you're a boxer. So yeah, maybe he felt a little bit rusty. I don't know. Maybe technically he wasn't quite sure what Christian Hammer was going to do, but there was 2 or 3 times with similar combinations that Hammer did that he got caught. But he wore him down, and in the end, it didn't go too long. I think it was the perfect fight for him, really.
From what he's saying after the fight as well, he very much enjoyed being back in the ring. He said, I'm top level, I'm ready for the world stage, I've had my warm-up fight, so I'm now ready for action. And he means he wants to fight someone like Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua, or he wants to fight Tyson Fury. Let's ask him who he would like to fight the most. Joyce joins us live on talkSPORT 9. Hi, Joyce. Joe? Got excited there. How you doing? You all right?
Joe.
Yeah, all good.
Lovely to hear from you. Another victory last night, 14-0. How did you find the fight?
Yeah, it's a good, exciting fight. It's tough to begin with. Like, his hand, throwing some heavy leather at me, and but I was kind of like pacing myself because I didn't know if it was going to go 12 rounds or not, and started to work him out, and started to say, work the body, and I think I caught him with a left hook, and then he went down, and then I think in the later rounds, then he was saying work the body, and I hit with it, and the body shots were just, we wasn't liking them.
Joe, I thought you did really well in terms of going to the body, and he couldn't handle your power. But how did you feel kind of physically and sharpness-wise going in? Because it has been almost a year since you've been in the ring.
I felt, I felt good, but I wasn't like 100%. I think I could, I can always do better. I think I'm quite, especially taking them shots early on, is something I can work with. And I guess the next fights, when you fight more regularly, then you make less mistakes like that. And but yeah, it was an exciting fight. I enjoyed it. It's good to be back in the ring again.
You did ride a few shots. Is that durability something that you think will hold you in good stead when you come up against the better opponents, the more experienced, the heavy hitters?
Yeah, because it proves that I can hang with. I can, take them shots and keep throwing punches. I throw a lot of punches, and I can do the rounds as well.
I think absolutely spot on, Joe. What I was sort of looking at, he caught you a couple of times, but the intensity, he just couldn't handle, your intensity coming at him all the time. And 36, but for a heavyweight, that could be seen as absolute prime. Do you feel strong physically, ready to kick on and keep those type of intensity bouts up?
Yeah. No, I've still got a few years left at a good level. I'm at the peak of I'm at the peak right now, but I'm still learning. I've not got that many miles on the clock, and I've got at least another 3 good years or more.
The trajectory is there to face Joshua or Usyk in your next bout. Is that the one you want, or is it Tyson Fury you've got your eyes on?
I'll have all of them. Like, depending on all the, obviously there's a couple of fights for me to happen, like obviously the undisputed and stuff. But them titles are available for me to capture for early next year. So I'm at the top of of the rankings. I'm like edging up even closer in like the overall rankings as well. So just a couple more fights, and then next year will be heavyweight champion of the world, I believe.
Joe, do you feel that if some, they turn around and said to you now that actually you could fight one of those, or that say the loser you could fight, do you feel ready now to make those fights, or do you feel you could do with a couple more fights yourself?
No, I'm ready now. If the opportunity comes about, then I'm ready. Like, I can raise my game up and fight whoever. I've had enough experience now. I know, I'm ready.
And how is everyone in the family? I wandered into your breakfast about a year ago. I think it was when you were after your last fight, and I grabbed you for the Sunday session. You were having breakfast in the Hilton at Wembley, and I just wandered over to your table and ended up chatting with your mum and the rest of your family as well. Everyone excited about what's to come?
Yeah, they're all excited. We're just about to go and have a pub lunch actually. So. But yeah.
Don't tell me where it is. I'll wander into that as well.
He will, Joe. Careful.
Good stuff. Have fun this afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us, taking the time to join us. That's Joe Joyce.
Yeah, good luck in the future,
who
Joe.
is very much on an upward rise towards a big fight, a big, huge fight, possibly a big British super fight coming up in the next 12 months or so.
Look, I think he'd want, and he's come out and said it, any of the top three. I think it wouldn't do him any harm, especially being out for a year, just to have a couple more fights. So I think it could work out perfectly if it's next year. And look, he's got the power, he's got the durability. If he can just avoid some of those punches against the real big boys, then he could spring a surprise.